I'm about to wrap up my trip here to New York and Virginia to see my brothers, Mark and Bob. I had some daylight still to run down to the Hudson Valley and see some of the sights and some of the places like where I grew up. So I took some videos there in this. Basically, you know, the street I grew up on, the house I grew up in, some of my neighbors' houses. A lot of that neighborhood still looks the same. I went down to the waterfront in Milton, the train station down there, which has been completely refurbished. And it looks amazing, that whole area down there, the waterfront park now. Like, it used to just be like a dirt parking lot and potholes everywhere. The old Kedem Winery was up on the hill right there. The train station was kind of dilapidated and boarded up, and there was definitely not a cruise ship ever tied up at that pier there. Stopped by and saw the house that was formerly known as Mary's Candy Shop, which I frequented quite a bit on bicycle trips from my house down to town with $1. $1 got you a whole bag of candy, man. 1984 or whatever. Went to the Locust Grove Brewing Company, which wasn't there when I was a kid. I guess it's been there about 3 years now. That used to just be like an orchard with like old beat up kind of orchard houses in there. And now it's an amazing tap room and family gathering place. It's right overlooking the orchard and the Hudson River. It's freaking spectacular. So if you're ever up there, go find the Locust Grove Brewing Company and go check them out. And good beer. They had cider, mixed drinks, all sorts of stuff there too. To the Little League field too, Young's Park, right? I played a lot of baseball games there growing up. It's nice to see that they added a field, and they've named the fields after Fred Rhodes, who was a longtime Little League coach up there with the Little League system. Always coached the Braves team, from what I remember. Had the Atlanta Braves hat on. Big old Ford Bronco that OJ would be proud of. And this is a great dude. And Coach Jack Crow, which I think I even said in the video, he was our baseball coach in high school. And if there's only two things that Coach Crow ever taught me, it was that if my hands are cold, I should put them in my pants right inside my jock strap. Warms them up. And and then reminded everybody all the time that if you shake it more than twice, you're playing with it. So those are the two things that I took away from Coach Crow. Good visit. It was a whirlwind of a visit. I hope to get back sooner rather than later so I can spend more time. But definitely cool. Everybody's doing good. There we go. This is Mohawk Drive. There's the Cocos' house from growing up. Mr. Nocente's house right there. And this is the house that old Rad Dad grew up in, 20 Mohawk Drive. It looks exactly the goddamn same. Exactly. Except for those trees are a lot bigger. And there was no dumpster. This is the Yervis' house. Was the Yervis' house. Old, I forgot the name. Harold was his name. He lived back up there in that house. That's new from when I lived here. This is the Closhers' house. Dennis and Sue and Mike and Jeff. This is the Cocos' grandpa's house and grandma. He was like a world-class carpenter who spoke very little English because he came basically right off the boat from Italy. And that's about all I know. This one was built kind of when I was growing up, but it wasn't quite done. That was kind of just woods. And then back there behind that house, you can probably see here, is Halleck's Pond. There's another house on the other side, and there's also a cemetery on the other end of that. I'll take you over there in a minute. On the other end of that pond, that is, it's got people buried there from like the 1600s. That's how old this place is. Halleck's Pond also pretty much froze over every winter, where we would go up there and do some ice skating, and at least one of us in the neighborhood would fall through the ice at least once a year. And this is the Smerdon's house. Denise, Don, DJ, Drew, and Danny. all lived there. My mom and Denise were pretty good friends, and spent many an hour in that basement down there. That, I guess it's a garage that was converted into like Drew's room. And, you know, listening to heavy metal and watching Drew get better and better playing the drums every day. So, not every day, but, you know, whenever we're up there, you know, Drew was playing the drums in the basement along with some, you know, heavy metal Ozzy song or Ozzy album or something like that, Black Sabbath, stuff that he liked. So, and this is Washington's headquarters. George Washington stayed there in 1760, and that was my bus stop. So just a quick insert on this one. You know, growing up, there was a nice old lady and her husband passed away. And they lived there at Washington's headquarters, and it was called Washington's headquarters. Our bus driver called it that. I think the sign outside said it. It was really an old building, obviously, since the 1700s. And I don't think, obviously, 1760 wasn't really like in the throes of the Revolution, right? So it's not like George Washington and the Continental Army camped out there. I kind of feel like he just maybe stayed there for a couple nights, like on his way from one place to another, you know? So it wasn't like, you know, a strategic place that he stayed during the Revolutionary War. We all know that, because 1760 was way too early for that. So this is the Friends Cemetery. I think it used to be called like the Halleck Cemetery or Halleck's Friends Cemetery. It's like they got a new sign, probably renamed. You can see that some recent stones, but some of these you can't even read them. And I just recall from being up here when I was younger that some of these stones are from, you know, the 1700s and 1800s. 1890 or 1878 right there. This just says Nathaniel Harcourt died April 21st, 1878. There's a Moore, no relation. Maybe they have it set up ready for me. I don't know. I plan to be scattered at sea somewhere, though. There's one you can't read. I'm sure it's old. A lot of history here where I grew up. It's kind of why I like coming back and walking around here. I was always into the history of this area. I was kind of proud to be from here with all the Revolutionary War history and all that stuff. There's one, an 11-year-old. Can't read the name. Died May 30th, 1863. And if you recall from the other side, that's the pond. This is just the other side of it. Heading down Dock Road towards the train station. It looks like there's a boat, a ship moored up down here at the old train docks here at the docks. This used to be all brick, like old ass brick, probably, I'm guessing from the 1800s. Always. And it was like kind of a pain in the ass to like ride your bike down, because this is how we'd usually come home from town, from getting candy at Mary's Candy Store. So we'd come down this brick road, just get the shit kicked out of you, and then head up that road straight ahead to go back home the back way. There's the train station. I'm gonna get out and take some pictures. This is down at the waterfront. Looking up this hill right here, this nicely mowed lawn. That used to be the little path that you'd walk up to go to the Kedem Winery, which was right there. Right there. Like it was in that middle of that grass pad. A little bit further up. And this little stream that's right here used to kind of power the little paddle wheel that was part of the winery. Old building. They used to do tastings there, and they still make wine I think their main winery moved down to the old Cañaso winery, which I passed on the way into town, coming from Marlboro into Milton. So they just moved. But, you know, my mom would come down here when they would have like tastings and stuff, and we'd hang out down here at the waterfront. None of it was paved, it was all dirt. The train station was there, but it was kind of boarded up and not in use anymore. Looks like it's been completely redone. Looks beautiful down here. And looks like they refurbished that dock, which I think there was a fire on not too long ago, for this, what looks like a river cruise ship, which is pretty cool. When I was in the Coast Guard, my first unit, we would sometimes tie up right here at this dock, but it was like nowhere near like this. Not as nice. And when we did that, I would get a chance, I would walk right home for the night. You know, I'd go on, they'd grant liberty, and I'd walk up to my house in my Coast Guard uniform. So yeah, it looks like it's called the American Star. It's like a river cruise, probably goes up and down the Hudson River between Kingston and the city, something like that probably. I hear a train coming. So maybe it's on this side of the river. Be kind of cool. But yes, this used to be just tore up. Like, it's been here forever. But, and this side of the river only does like freight trains. You know, the other side of the river over there, they do the passenger trains, the Metro North that goes from this side of the river all the way down to the city in Grand Central. That's the inside of the train station. Pretty cool. And we'll see if we're gonna get a train coming by. This is the Buttermilk Falls. I think it's a spa and a lodge and an inn. It is. It's like they have weddings there. Buttermilk Falls is the place I used to hike to on the railroad tracks. And on the side, or right along Buttermilk Falls, up a little further up the mountain, probably between here and the river, behind where the inn is now, was an old button factory that made buttons for U.S. servicemen, you know, like, and you would find them, they're old as shit, like stuff from like the Civil War and maybe even the Revolutionary War, that type of stuff. Like there's stuff like buried in the dirt there that we would find every summer. And it was kind of cool. It had a little paddle wheel, you know, coming off the stream that would power their equipment and their tools. And you could go in there and dig around through the floorboards and stuff and still find old buttons with US stamped on it. This is the Locust Grove Brewing Company. I was up here before a couple years ago. They were closed. I might stop in, check it out. We'll see. That was never there. This is downtown Milton we're heading into. I just came up from the dock down there and the train station, and right down this road to your left, nope, not Church Street, that one goes down towards Sands Avenue and all the way around. This one here, Dock Road goes down to Mary's Candy Shop, just to the left of the library here. Mary's Candy Shop is down that way. It's not there anymore, it's a house now. It was a house before, but it had a candy shop in the front. So this is Main Street in Milton. Those buildings have been there forever. Manisi's Pub used to be here, still is. Look, Manisi's Pub. Fire department is here. Looks like they got some new stores, maybe an ice cream place. Those attorneys sign has been there forever. It's Milton Engine Company. I think I don't know if there still are, but they used to be all volunteer engine fire company. This is the St. James Church right there. Coming up this way, my high school buddy and, you know, groomsman of my wedding, and Jason and his sister Lisette used to live right there, minus the solar power. Spent many a day there. But this used to be an elementary school. Now it's the town hall and police department. I won many a field day event right there. This is Young's Park, Little League field. Spent many a day here. Probably all the way up till I was 12 or 13. Place still looks amazing. I see Rodney's scoreboard, the Pepsi scoreboard that was Rodney's pride and joy, and the right field foul line is gone. And it's over here on the left field foul line now, but not a Pepsi one. But yeah, always a nice field. They used to tell us that they got the infield dirt from Yankee Stadium, so we always felt pretty special, and the field was always in great shape. And it looks like it's even better now than ever. Little announcing booth up there above the dugout. The dugouts used to not have any structure or enclosures. It was always just bleachers behind, like a single bleacher in a fenced-in dugout. So it looks really nice. Looks like they got some batting cages kind of thing over there. Really kind of expanded things a little bit here. And a great sign. This is what you want to see, right? Your youth sports. Treat others as you would want to be treated. Small town America, folks. Fred Rhodes, Mike Spoto, Bill Lyons Jr., George Pitkin, Anthony Russo, Gary Bale. I know all of those people from growing up here. It looks like this field has been designated as the Fred Rhodes field. And Fred was Mr. Rhodes. I didn't know him as Fred, obviously. But he was a long-time Little League coach here. Big guy, right? But big heart, too. And I remember him coaching the Braves. He was always the coach of the Braves, Mr. Rhodes. And then that field over there, it's called Coach Crow Field. Coach Crow is like the baseball coach at high school, and part-time gym teacher. I think I had maybe just subbed in sometimes for Mr. Toombs, but definitely baseball coach. And he taught me that if my hands are cold, to put them in my pants, like right down in my cup, in my jock strap, and also that if I shook it more than twice, I was playing with it. So pretty great folks. Name our fields after here. It's awesome. All right, on to the next. These next videos or pictures really are just from the trip to Roanoke and Salem, Virginia. Visited my brother Bob down there. These first couple were at the Mercantile in Salem. Pretty cool place. That's the star on top of the mountain. Roanoke's the Star City. You can see that from our Airbnb. That's Mark's pizzas that he used to make that you can't get anymore at Woodstock Oasis because they're turning into a cannabis dispensary. Just some stuff from inside his store. A couple wooden signs, some old phones. If you didn't know what those were, those are phones. This is at the D&H Aqueduct, crossing over from Pennsylvania into New York. I don't think that's the Delaware River. I think it's like a little tributary of the Delaware River, but it is beautiful. I had to stop and take some pictures. A little one-lane bridge going across this. And on one side it's like Waxahachie, Pennsylvania, and the other side you're in Minisink Valley in New York. That's at the go-kart place. And that's it. That's my trip, man. Had a great time.